What's up, guys? I'm randomfrankp, back with episode 255 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas and inspiration for your own setup. If you see anything you like today, I'll have all the gear and hardware that's piquing your interest in the description down below so you can check it out. But we'll kick it off now. 255. Now, starting us off today is OmarDaily. Oh yeah, hi, I'm down here for a little bit. Trying something new out, we'll see how it goes. So OmarDaily kicking us off with the dual monitor setup here. Think it's looking nice and clean, pretty organized overall, with a nice 72-inch uplift desk. And you can check out underneath, he also has one of those foot hammocks to kick back and chill. So for those two displays, they are both a 4K 27-inch 160 Hz monitor from LG. Obviously, one horizontal, one vertical off to the left side. But down to his peripherals to match his desk, going all white here with the Logitech G915 TKL Lightspeed. Love this keyboard, very underrated I feel like, but also kind of pricey. Going also with Logitech G305 Lightspeed mouse. And also for audio, not really pictured here, but he does have mentioned the Astro A50 Wireless Gen 4. He has the base station behind the monitor, so it stays out of sight. But one thing that caught my eye right away was the small form factor PC. I love small form factor cases like this, especially with a, more clean and organized desktop. So here, looking really nice with the Ncase M1. Inside is an AMD Ryzen 9 5950X, 32 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z, RGB RAM, on an Asus ROG Crosshair 8 motherboard with a Liquid Devil 6900 XT GPU. And it is all liquid cooled for the PC. You can see part of it hanging out the backside there, mounted on the actual backside of the case for the radiator. So a really nice small form factor build, But yeah, Omar just keeping it really chill here. Not a lot going on the desktop. Got a plant on the desk, a bigger plant off to the left side. That's a tree, not a plant. A little RGB light strip behind the desk or behind the monitor. Just give us some more accent glow, but pretty simple here. Good stuff from Omar. Now we've got Jared bringing in all the luscious vegetation here with a very green setup. You got all the plants, all the ivy, everywhere. Down the legs of the desk, up on the shelf, around some of the prints. I'm surprised there's not a full-blown plant in the actual PC. Maybe there is. Probably not. But either way, let's check it out now. For these two displays, again, they are both the same panel, with it being an Acer 27-inch 1440p monitor. I'm having them both side by side like that, mounted and kept up on one solo monitor bracket. And of course, to match all the green and the vegetation throughout the room, a nice leafy spanned wallpaper. I do like some of the knickknacks and stuff he has throughout the room. Got some vinyls, some prints, some books, just some things to fit in the overall aesthetic. Need some water. Now, down to his peripherals is a TechWare Phantom keyboard. It's their full-size 104 key layout with the glorious Model O wireless and the glorious extra large extended stealth mousepad. Then for some audio stuff, over on the right side of the desk, you can see he has the Mica RB42 bookshelf speakers, as well as a Motu M22 USB audio interface, and not really pictured here or anywhere that I've seen, but his headphones are the Audio-Technica M40X. You can see in some shots they are hanging off the side of the desk underneath where the legs are. Now, over to the PC. Here we have the NZXT H710 case in all black with an Intel i7 8700K CPU, cooled by the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4 cooler. Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4. What a name. Got 32 gigs of G-Skill Ripjaws V RAM on an Asus Prime Z370A motherboard, and Gigabyte GTX 1080 Ti. So for the most part, with some of the pictures on and off, you can't really tell because there's really no RGB inside the PC. So keeping it nice and matte, nice and stealth inside. So a nice and clean build. And again, just taking a look at the general setups, you have a massive L-shaped desk here, probably two of these IKEA desktops, mounted side by side like that to give him a ton of space. You even have like a little workstation off on that right side if he needs to, because there's just so much room, So really liking it. Again, you're digging the earthy tones here, all wooden desktop, that nice warm lighting behind the actual desk itself, like an orange RGB light strip, and obviously all the green tones complement each other. Looking real good, Jared. Now, coming up next is Pyry, or Pyry. don't know how to always pronounce the names, but Pyry we're gonna go with, has the dual monitor setup here, the Tetris shape orientation, and we definitely have a lack of photos submitted by Pyry, so I'm gonna do the best I can with what I'm given. So checking it out, his main display is an Acer Nitro 27-inch with the left side vertical monitor being a Dell 24-inch monitor. Happy to report the wallpaper is spanned, so it's nice and cohesive across the two displays. Can't stress this enough, you gotta span your wallpapers, people. Then moving on down to his peripherals, we have a Varmillo VA69 keyboard with a custom macro pad. Always like seeing some macro pads. The mouse over on the right is an Xtrfy M42 with an X-Ray Pad Equate Plus mouse pad. Now that's definitely a pretty good peripheral layout here. Again, good macro pad, a nice customized keyboard, nice mouse, good mouse pad. Love to see it. And then for audio, real quick, since he has it only really seen in one photo, it is a Sennheiser GSP 550 headset. But over to the PC, again, looking real nice. I was eyeing it up. Has that nice glow and aura to it with the Fantex P400A case inside the Ryzen 5 3600 CPU, not GPU, my bad. With a Scythe Mugen 5 RGB cooler. What is a Mugen? 16 gigs of Course of Vengeance RGB Pro RAM on an MSI B450 Tomahawk Max motherboard. And the vertically mounted GPU is an Asus Strix GTX 1080. So white or cool blue tones in the PC to match, the white peripherals and just those tones throughout, whether it is some of the hardware and also matching the wallpaper pretty much. Like you take a look at some of the keycaps and stuff, even on his keyboard, and that's all very cohesive. Looks pretty good for sure. So again, a nice wooden desk. This is a mix of cool and warm tones, but I think it works out here. Not too crowded or overdone. Very nice, Pyry. Now we've got Nozdoz, and we are just doing well with the names here, I hope. And Nozdoz is going for a pretty unorthodox monitor setup here. We have the three, but the way they're aligned, you don't see too much. Here we have the vertical monitors being in line with the top of the primary monitor. So it spans down a bit. Kind of looks like I'm getting like an elephant ear vibe from this one. So we're gonna call this the elephant monitor orientation, right? Let's roll with it, I don't know. So unfortunately, kind of like Pyry, Nozdoz didn't provide the best case scenario in terms of photo submissions, so a lot of these had to be cropped and kind of enhanced a little bit so you could see what's going on. But the main monitor is an AOC 24-inch at 144 Hertz. His left is an AOC 24-inch, but just 75 Hertz, so a cheaper alternative than with the right being a BenQ 24-inch at 60 Hertz, so three different panels here. Moving on down to the peripherals, to kind of fill in that gap underneath the main monitor are his speakers, so it looks, more cohesive in that sense. With the Logitech Z333, he also has the Corsair Virtuoso RGB wireless headset. And for his main setup here, got the Ducky 1-2 Mini RGB keyboard with some pudding keycaps to let that light shine through nice and vividly, with a Razer Basilisk wireless mouse. Now over to the PC of an NZXT H700i case. This buds up right against that right monitor. And inside's an Intel i7 8700K CPU with an NZXT Kraken X73 AIO. Got 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM, an Asus Prime Z390 motherboard with a Gigabyte RTX 2060 for the GPU. Now, as you saw in some of the earlier shots, this is a larger room with dual setups here. This is actually shared by his girlfriend, he said. So he has his setup, then his girlfriend's right by his side. We'll take a look at it. We're not gonna go through it all entirely. We don't got enough time in the day for that. But this one visually, a lot more simplified with the solo monitor, RGB mouse pad, got the purple, colors glowing throughout in the PC, in the peripherals, in the wallpaper. So you got a little glimpse at the second setup right next to the main setup from Nozdoz in the room. I will say I included this setup today because it is a rather unorthodox setup with it being, that orientation. It gives it more of like a boxy look, but there's just something visually missing to take it to the next level. It's still a great setup, don't get me wrong, a great gaming room, just something that I can't quite put my finger on. Regardless though, it's a good setup and I'm sure 99% of the population out there would love to have this. Oh baby, last but not least is NiceSetupDude, and that's literally what we're all thinking right now. This is a hell of a setup. So much to unpack here visually, but first off, gorgeous photography. This is goals. The RGB throughout the room just enhances everything and makes it look 10 times cooler. But yeah, your name is spot on. Nice setup, dude. So I actually first found him on Instagram, hit him up, and here we are. Definitely check him out on Instagram if you want to follow his setup and the evolution as well, because I want this right now. So let's check it out. He's going with a 34-inch LG ultra-wide for the main display here, with the monitor light bar up top acting as the desktop lamp. Again, a very, very popular thing I've been seeing a ton recently. And he does have a crazy lamp over on the left side of the desk, but he also has just a bunch of RGB, so just a nice, overhead little lamp there for him. Now, this entire setup is powered by his 2020 MacBook Air. And, regardless of what gaming gets done on this, whether it is for gaming or productivity, it doesn't matter. What matters is this is one of the most badass looking setups I've seen in a while. I don't care if you have an Android phone hooked up to here from like 2008. I don't care what's powering it. It looks killer. Down to his peripherals, he's a Royal Kludge RK87, it's a TKL keyboard, and his mouse is the Logitech MX Master. For audio, on each side of the monitor, you can see his speakers. They're the Donner 3-inch, and he also has a SteelSeries Arctis 3 headset on the desktop as well. A quick peek under the desk, you can see nice and organized, all kept up, nice and tidy, nothing on the floor. And it's also a sit-stand desk from FlexiSpot, so the leg and the motor here from FlexiSpot gives him literal flexibility. Move it up and down. Then a little peek across the room for his entertainment setup. He has a 50-inch TCL TV. It's OLED, hooked up to the PS5. Lots of little figurines and stuff over here as well, to give it that more gamer vibe. Some prints above the wall behind it. RGB behind it as well. So he can be just kicking there at the really nice setup in front of him, and then turn around, get some console gaming done on the 50-inch. But man, oh man, this is just one of them that you see every now and then that visually jaw-dropping. The way it's all just laid out is gorgeous. Great in terms of symmetry as well. Just a ton of RGB. Some people, might think it's too much, but nah. This is where it's done right, because it makes it all come together more. There's probably like between 6 to 10 different RGB products going on here, but it doesn't matter to me. It looks great in the end. That's all you could ask for, right? So nice setup, dude. You got a nice setup, dude. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 255 of Room Tour Project. Hope you enjoyed. Drop your comments down below. Did you like the little green screen inclusion of me popping up every now and then? Let me know your thoughts. And also, like I said, everything you saw will be listed for you in the description down below, so you can check it out in case you're interested. Plus some very simple instructions on how to submit your setup if you're interested in being on a future episode of Room Tour Project. Down below for it all. Like this episode, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope y'all enjoyed. Have a good day.